Why not? Why not? What's a random multi-hour long Minecraft stream with no context if I don't also upload it to YouTube where no one will watch it? It's content. Is it content anyone wanted? No. No, fuck no. But I've long since stopped caring what other people want for like anything that I do. Is pretty zen. I gotta tell you, it's pretty fucking zen. I say, running into a wall. You know what? Give me Big Me. Hey, Big Me, how's it going? You in focus, bud? I mean, no, not really. Not really, no. Not really in focus at all. That's fine. Goodbye, Big Me. Hello, Little Me. Goodbye, Little Me. Hello, Preview Me. Wow! You know, I always forget how behind the Twitch preview is. Hey, we'll dredge another tunnel. What am I doing? I'm mining, my dude. I'm mindlessly fucking mining. To what end? Not really any end. Maybe to build stuff eventually. When I play Minecraft, I spend a lot, and I mean a lot, of time just getting resources that I intend to eventually maybe refine and use for some sort of project or some sort of craft. That's the name of the game. And then just never do it. Is it time wasted? I mean, not really. It's not like anything you make in the game is real anyway, or anything that you make even lasts very long. It's a very transient game. Especially when you played it for as long as I have. Like, early on in the Minecraft days, I'm like, oh, we'll start a server and we'll get people on it and we'll keep it running for years. And, you know, some folks have done that, and there's some incredible projects out there. But it's a game that you don't have to take seriously. It's a game you don't have to think that fucking much about. So, in that regard, it's been very appealing for me, particularly lately. Minecraft is a game where I will, like, start a Netflix series on my second monitor and just, like, mostly pay attention to the Netflix series as I mindlessly strip mine a grid in Minecraft for resources I'm never gonna use. Had a lot of fun, especially when I was younger, playing with other people, but these days, I went and started going through the trouble of setting up a server, but, like, of my friends, there's only a few who I think I could get into playing regularly. Like, I don't blame them. If anyone months ago had been like, oh, Alex, you want to play Minecraft? I'd be like, no, dude! It's really a spur of the moment, right kind of vibe for the moment kind of game. I've also been eyeing up Eco. I really like what I've been seeing there, but it's been hard getting the group I play with most often to hop onto a new game. A bunch of them are playing Monster Hunter right now, which is, you know, cool, but it's a little too action-y. Folks are still playing a lot of Warzone, which I started that trend in this friend group, and I don't regret it. It is a fun game at its best. You know, I played like 2-3 games tonight. 2 games tonight before people got off. I got a top 15 and a top 10. I think like 14th place and 8th place. I hadn't played the game in like 2 weeks. It's not particularly hard. Just as long as you don't play it sweaty, as long as you don't care. Like, the moment you start caring about Warzone, really any battleground, that's the moment you've lost. like, it's a fucking game. You're not getting money out of it, not unless you're streaming or making content for YouTube, in which case, like, it's so saturated, you're probably not really making money for it anyway. Or people are following you based off your personality, not your performance. In which case, don't take it seriously, because people are more interested in you in a parasocial kind of way. It don't matter. It don't matter. But a couple of the people I play with get really tilted and angry if they don't do well. Because they're, like, really competitive and they care about, like, KD ratio and shit like that. And I just don't. I've never cared about that sort of thing. Like, it's a fucking game. I care about game stats and performance and ability when it's, like, directly competitive in a way that I actually feel tests skill or knowledge or aptitude, like when I play soccer. Or it was, at least in the olden days when I used to. I took that way too seriously. I was a very serious kid playing soccer. When I play RTSs, like strategy games, I take those pretty seriously and I can get pretty frustrated. In Warzone or in first-person shooters, I tend to just get angry by the game mechanics, game balance, server issues, stuff like that. And, like, the more I play those games, the more I hate those games. Especially because the Call of Duty series particularly is like a military-industrial complex pipeline. Like, it's a little uncomfortable, you know? Which is a big part of why I don't stream it. I don't like the type of people that it attracts, like the traditional COD bro. I don't like... I wouldn't like... I don't know, I can't talk, do stream of consciousness stuff. The people I play with, a few of them are really good with banter. A few of them just can't focus on the game if they're bantering, and they're the competitive types that they just get angry. Which is a big disappointment to me, if I'm being honest, but don't need to get into it. So yeah, I've been playing Minecraft. Just fine. It's kind of nice in a revelatory kind of way to be playing and just be like, yeah, I'm making some stuff. Doesn't matter. Nah. Do I have, like, any long-term goals here? I mean, I don't know. Right now, farm, diamond, and lapis, and XP mostly until I max the level out or get it high enough level, and I think it is now that I can start getting good enchantments, but I don't remember and I don't really care enough to look it up, so I'm not going to. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing until I get bored of it. And typically when I get bored of it, it's like, alright, no, I'll close this for the night and I'll move on to something else, and no big deal. No big deal. Been pretty nice to play in that Devil May Care kind of way. I have not really been playing anything else. That's a lie. I've been trying to play Stellaris, but holy shit, Stellaris is like the most unstable game with the mods I have running. Not my mod. My mod's very perfectly stable. It's Gilly's modifiers that seem to be making it crash, and I don't know why. The crash reports are insanely not helpful. And I just, I don't know. Stellaris, even at its best, is, like, insanely repetitive. And I have a very, been there, seen that kind of attitude when it comes to the game. So it's a good turn off brain play game until it crashes. And it does that like every couple of hours or so, which makes it a not very good turn off brain type game. Because if I can't turn off my brain completely, that's not really what I'm looking for right now. Yeah. These are weird times. I mean, I definitely don't mean to complain about, like, well, I'm playing stuff, but none of it's really moving me, and so I guess I'm just kind of doing this. That's not a problem. That's not a problem, especially in comparison to, like, my real problems or, like, the amount of shit that so many people are going through, the horrific pandemic, the horrifying condition of economic collapse in the United States, rampant racism and police violence. I mean, like, dog, dude. Me being like, I'm bored, I don't know what to play. That's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. Yeah. Oh. Oh. God, what have I been up to today? Not a whole fucking lot, if I'm being honest. Did I watch stuff today? Yeah. Did I play stuff today? Yeah. Yeah. I think I played Stellaris until the point of failure once or twice. Got frustrated by that. I low-key had a migraine like all day today. Okay, listen. I know that the meta for how you're supposed to approach being down here is, number one, don't be at this level. Be at the level where lava spawns at your feet, not where it spawns at your head. That lets you mine faster. Bitch, I know. I don't care. Like, I like the aesthetics of what I'm doing. And having lava occasionally pour in helps break up the monotony. Well, at least bring a water bucket. I don't wanna. But you're taking damage and you could die. Who cares? It don't matter. Like, I have a bunch of fucking cobblestone iron on me. At most, I hit like 1 or 2 pockets of diamond and then kind of care a little bit. It doesn't matter. It's one of the great things about life, about getting older. It really is one of the best things about getting older, is you really, and getting older and I think specifically maturing, getting more experience in life, not just like aging, because everyone ages, right? Specifically, what I mean is going through actual periods of struggle or turmoil, or growth. Getting real life experience under your belt. If you haven't wear a belt, that is it makes context defines reality, right? And if you've had years of your life, like me, where you've been unemployed or effectively homeless, where you've gone hungry, where you have been like insanely suicidally depressed, it really gives a lot of context to moments where you're just like bored or uncomfortable or inconvenienced. It makes those moments a lot more bearable because you know, oh, I've dealt with way worse than this shit before. This is nothing. Not to invalidate the struggle that you're currently experiencing, but like one of the best things about getting older is just the knowledge of like, wow, I can handle so much more than I thought myself capable of. Pushing yourself and really exploring your limits is an incredibly satisfying thing. I've been giving lately, and this is an off and on thing, I've talked about it in the past, I've been thinking a considerable amount about past relationships. Not any specific one. Of course, on various days it'll be a specific one or another specific one, but generally I haven't been fixated on like one particular moment, one particular person, one particular circumstance. It's been kind of this ranging, varying, shifting, listless kind of nostalgia in a way, but not nostalgia in like, those were the good old days, but kind of nostalgia tinted with regret, reflecting on all the ways I could have been a better friend, better support, a better ear or counselor or partner to all these people in various ways, never in like the same exact way. Maybe when I was very young, a few times in the same exact way, but you know, as we get experiences, we grow, we learn, hopefully, or you're a bad person and need to open yourself up to growth and reflection, introspection, etc. And it's been an interesting railroad to kind of go on. That's not the expression. The expression is roller coaster, not railroad. But I said what I said, didn't I? And there's no real takeaway, right? I don't want to split hairs into getting too specific here. When I was younger and I used to think about this sort of thing, I would be filled with like the kind of regret, like, oh, if only I had done X, Y, or Z different, we would have stayed together and da 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 da. There's something, you know, deeply appealing about the idea of like long-term relationships, like the security, the camaraderie, the loyalty and protection and friendship and real companionship, I think is what it boils down to. But like, I haven't been bereft of companionship in my life. Just because I've had a lot of different companions, it doesn't mean that I've been alone. Right, far from it, in fact. And even the periods where I have been alone, those have been wonderful opportunities to get to know myself better, to get to explore myself, my values, my wants, my needs, in much greater detail than I think I'm capable of when I'm in relationships. Now, relationships at their best bring out the best of us. They push us to grow, to innovate, to change, in order to help care for and support and, you know, be there with and for this other person. You know, it's relationships at their best, but a lot of relationships also comes down to codependence. Comes down to making one another comfortable, making one another feel safe, making one another content, making one another happy. And not happy in a way as in fulfilled, happy as in satisfied. And I'm sure I've talked at length in the past, though it's probably been a while since I've talked about like my disdain for satisfaction. Satisfaction to me is an incredibly antithetical feeling and phenomena to creativity, to expression, to growth. If I'm satisfied, chances are I'm just gonna keep doing whatever I'm doing because it seems to be working well enough, right? But if I'm not satisfied, if I'm still hungry or wanting or yearning or lonely or in pain or thirsty or hungry or horny or bored or frustrated or anxious or, you know, whatever, so long as it's not contented, those are motivators to make me move, to make me think, to make me change. Not always for the better. Sometimes with like depression and anxiety, almost never for the better. But they add a lot of variety and color and space and vibrancy to life. And I think really that's what I want from life. I don't want a stable, comfortable life. I won't do I long for financial stability right now, more than anything else. Well, maybe not more than anything else. Oh my god, how I pray for revolution, maybe, but, you know, it's up there, financial stability. And, like, it'd be great to have some stable, active, enthusiastic... Did my dumbass really mine up to this? Well, okay, what was I doing? Stable, like, romances and friendships, that'd be really nice, but it's also, like, not really possible right now. Pandemic is killing 4,000 people a day in the United States. Washington's not so bad. But not a great time to go out, get to know new people, or go out with new people. I've been on a date in the last month or so. It was... I've had worse. Have I? Am I being generous in saying that? It wasn't a good time. They're going through a lot. They're a great person. But they need to process a lot, and they're not in a place where they're ready for a relationship, I think. With me, anyway. And may never be. May never have an interaction with them again. And holy shit, this, like, loops back to what am I talking about? Context and growth and experience and aging and maturity. As a teenager, I would have walked away from that first date being like, oh my god, what's wrong with me? That didn't go the way I wanted at all. This is so disappointing. I'm so sad. And I was hurt. I was sad. I was disappointed. But I've been hurt and sad and disappointed before. That's okay. It comes and it goes. It's not forever. So, you know, I let myself feel disappointed in the ways I felt disappointed, and just moved on. Which, you know, is not all that remarkable, right? I'm not trying to, like, be like, wow, look at me. No, dude, wait, this is... this shouldn't be, exceptional. This should be unremarkable. And it kind of is. And that's quite exciting, really, for me. I like that it's unremarkable. I like that my attitude is just like, that's life. Because I've disillusioned myself a lot with a lot of things of youth. Of, not just youth, but of naivete. Like, the notion that one true love exists. That notion destroyed so many good relationships when I was younger. Not perfect relationships, no, but good relationships. That notion, that idea of a soulmate, oh my god, that sabotaged and torpedoed so many relationships when I was a teen, because I'd be dating someone, maybe even for years, And then the quiet thought would creep into my mind, you know, I love them. I like them a lot, but is this the most that I could love someone? Is this the best person? Could I do better? Gross shit. But if I'm being honest, that's how I thought when I was younger. And that's an offshoot of, you know, it's an offshoot of monogamy, but it's also an offshoot of being raised cis dude. There's a lot of gross shit that comes packaged with that. Oh no, I'm standing too close to the corner. Nope. 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 Go ahead and despawn, thank you. I wish so much I had, when I was younger, been healthily exposed to the idea of polyamory, or, you know, ethical non-monogamy. I was talking to someone yesterday night. God, I guess it was only that long ago. Great conversation. With, I was about to call her a young woman. She's math, 6 months younger than I am. So, you know, it's a bit diminutive for me to say young woman, but someone I don't know particularly well. I know distantly. Like, we share associations. That's a good way to put it. Why did I come up here? I'll be honest with you, I don't fucking know. Probably for a change of scenery because I was getting sick of the tunnels. Yeah, that's it. She has just gotten out of a relationship with a friend of mine, actually, and is thinking about and is processing her kind of romantic attachment styles and a lot of orientations, like sexual orientation, romantic orientation, etc., etc. You know the drill, right? Like, you're out of a relationship and you finally get some time and space and air to breathe and start questioning what it is you want, how it is you're getting it, who you want it from, what that looks like. And she's you know, surrounded by a lot of straight, a lot of monogamous people. And I've been wanting to have a conversation with her for, like, God, a hot minute, a month, to be like, hey, what you're going through, that's familiar to me. What, do you want to talk about it? Like, let me kind of be an advocate for you. I have a very soft spot in my heart for her and what she's going through. Like I said, I don't know her super well. I know her well enough to know that I like her, not enough to, like, have some soul-wrenching nuanced takes, which I don't feel is necessary by any means. I still have that overlay off. Good job, Alex. Good job. Remember when you said you were gonna fix that? That was a long time ago. All the same, this conversation was so damn satisfying. And, you know, for the purposes of privacy, I'm not gonna get into too many specifics, but it's so nice talking to people, I guess, and being openly and unapologetically pan and poly and queer and, like, relationship agnostic, if not relationship, like, anarchist. Just being, guess I haven't slept in a few nights. Like, holy fuck. And, you know, I was talking about this with her. It's so nice to talk to someone and not have to stop to explain what something means every 5 minutes, or give context to something, or explain your way, or, like, pussyfoot around, like, I get that you're monogamous, and, like, that's cool, dog. I'm not trying to like, to levy... not complaints, but criticisms against our traditional relationship structures and things like that without offending anyone. It's very nice to be able to do that. Yeah, so that was a highlight for the week. Playing Blades in the Dark is still a lot of fun. I'm still really enjoying that, and that's unsurprising. We did record this week. We did record last week as well. I've uploaded them, but they're unlisted on YouTube. I want my players to get a good feel for the game before... I mean, they've all said that they're down for me streaming or making it public, but, like, I'm not quite comfortable there yet. Like, I just want to make sure, you know, they're really good. I'm protective, I guess. I'm protective. And I don't want anyone to feel put on the spot or be made to feel nervous, because I've accidentally done that to friends in the past before when I've streamed with them or started playing games online with them and had them join in with other people they didn't know, and I've seen them, like, lock up, be like, oh, fuck. You said you were okay with this, and I don't think you actually are. Which ties back to, you know, talking about relationships. You know, that's a pretty common experience in relationships, both romantic and platonic. Part of what I talked about Wednesday night was, you know, I identify as pan. And oh my god. Straight people tend to be like, haha, I don't know what that means. And then I explain it. They're like, so it's bi, right? And I'm like, yeah, sort of, but not. And then bi people tend to be the most fucking insufferable when asking about my orientation. Not all of them, but some of them are like, why aren't you just bi then? And then I'm like, well, I don't like bi because the language structure, the word structure, bi means two, which seems kind of heteronormative to me, and I don't really like that very much. And they're like, well, bi isn't trans exclusive, I don't know why you would infer that. I'm like, I'm not inferring that, I'm just saying that the word, me identifying as non-binary, or being most comfortable as binary, is like this doesn't feel like a good fit to me. There feels like some kind of, oh my god, word for... the word for language, lingual inconsistency here, which is very typical in English. And, like, I don't think that people who are bi are, like, in any way transphobic for identifying that way, or that's inherently transphobic or anything like that. It's just, like, for me, personally, individually, I find it kind of weird and uncomfortable. Big tirade. Big jumping point. Anyway. Where the fuck was I going with this? Oh, I was prefacing being like, yeah, so I'm pan, but I'm really not attracted to very many. I mean, like, one in like 100,000, maybe. 1 in 100,000 cis men. Like, very few, and a big part of that. I mean, there's toxic masculinity, there's me not finding traditionally masculine stereotypes and roles attractive or desirable. Actually, I find a lot of them quite off-putting. But what I was talking about on Wednesday night, specifically, with the conversation I had, I hate the level of emotional immaturity so rampant in men. in the United States at least. Yeah, motherfuckers can't take ownership of their own feelings, of the responsibility for their own feelings. They lash out at people, they blame other people for making them feel things. They're infants. They're overgrown infants, almost to a T. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I hate these memes that are like, all men are trash. No, they fucking aren't. They absolutely are not. And that kind of attitude is, responsive to toxic masculinity, and it's totally valid and understandable, but wildly unproductive. And using language like all men are trash, you're also talking about trans men there, and if you're just specifically talking about cis men, then you should probably say that. And if you are just saying that broadly, I mean, generalizations, and this is a generalization, so we got ourselves a catch-22 here, are bad. They're bad. They're bad and lazy, and they can help inform us somewhat about expectations or trends or things to that degree, but I don't know. But also I'm doing it, and I will continue doing it, even though I recognize that it's problematic. I'm a hypocrite, and I'm at peace with that. And I've been trying to kind of piece this together. Well, hello there. For a while, to articulate, like, I don't like most dudes in a way that's even vaguely romantic. It really oftentimes comes down to my perception of their emotional maturity, and the way that I find a lot of, like, traditionally masculine traits, even ones that aren't necessarily toxic, to be very juvenile. I like emotional intelligence a lot in romantic and sexual partners, even in my friendships. It's why I'm friends with more women than I am with men, is because women, particularly cis women, are cultured in the United States and are gendered to have a high level of emotional intelligence. That's the skill set that they're taught, especially from a very young age, and it's something that resonates a lot with me because it's something that's really important to me, something I value a lot, something I try to be aware of and practice. So I feel very seen and heard and understood in those kind of communities. Circles. I have granite? No, I do not. No, don't get me wrong. I fully recognize, by and large, my mannerisms are still, mask is all hell, and I'm pretty okay with that, but, you know, let me be. I totally forget where I'm going with this. I'm not really going anywhere. Just kind of vibing. I'm tired. It's been along forever. And it's gonna be along forever. like, holy shit. Let's phrase this differently, Alex. I'm grateful. I legitimately am grateful for, in my life, I do not have a lot of vapid liberal people. Why am I saying that I'm grateful for that? Because I fucking hate New Year's. I fucking hate when it's the end of a year and people are like, thank God insert year is over. Now that insert year plus one is here, things will be different, even though materially nothing has changed. I hate that shit. Same shit kind of relates to presidential elections. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled that 45 is out of the office. I'm not thrilled about 46 though. I recognize symbolically a lot of the appointments, especially the VP nominee, or no, the VP now, is historically important. Sets a powerful and long overdue precedent. And there have been, oh god, who's the trans, nominee, I think, for a secretary position that's unprecedented. There's a lot of, identity politics stuff that's happening that's like, you know, sets good precedents. But, and here's the thing, unless those token people are accompanied by real material changes in circumstances for queer people, for people of color, for women, for poor people, for anyone who's not a cisgendered white man who owns a business in this country, right? To put it short, then it's immaterial. It doesn't matter. It's just smoke and mirrors. So that's why I'm not really celebrating, right? Because materially, very little has changed yet. Now, I'm not counting them out. I'm not saying nothing will change. I'm saying that, well, Joseph Biden did at a meeting say fundamentally nothing will change if I am elected president, which, you know, you gotta take a man at his word, especially when he's been running on that platform for his entire fucking political career and adult life. But yeah, sure, let's act like we're gonna push him to the left. Right, big doomer energy. So it's been nice not having to be apologetic for this big doomer energy, just kind of owning it. But also, like, fuck you, I'm right. Why are you mad? Why are you yelling? I'm right. But I haven't been raining on people's parade either, and I feel like that's a very important distinction. Someone I'm... God, how to succinctly describe a relationship. Romantically and sexually involved with in a long-distance capacity, which is to say, immaterially. So, are you involved at all? You know, you got me there. Because if I say yes, I'm a hypocrite given what I was just talking about. It's a very Canadian girlfriend kind of situation, I think. This person, has been talking about how excited she is, like crying about what an important historical moment this is, how exciting it is for her and women, and yeah, okay. I mean, you can have that, and I'm not gonna try and take that away from anyone. There's no but. I'm not gonna try and take that away from anyone. That's not what I'm about. I am ready to, like, actually see something fucking get done, though. Like, hey, if I don't get stimulus check, I can't pay rent. So, you know, that'd be pretty impactful for me. And don't okay, if you're, I'm saying don't give me that just get a job shit. If you do, the comment will either be deleted or the account will be blocked. So I don't know why I'm saying don't do it. It's a very common sense thing not to do. And if you do it, I will take satisfaction and get dopamine out of removing the comments and the person. So, like, I mean, do it if you want. I'm not the boss of you, and I do not intend to be. Sure would be nice if government would prioritize me and people like me, which is to say, at the end of December, there were 14 and some change million Americans. So let's say 14.5 million Americans. I forget the actual statistic because this was coming from the second to last week of December, who were unable to pay rent. And these are just that we know of. On average, each of these 14 million people were $5,000 behind on rent. I don't think a single payment of $2,000, I don't think a single payment of $5,000 would solve the problem that's very clearly there. We need monthly stimulus checks on the order of probably about $2,000 to make sure that we do not have one of the worst homelessness crises in American history. Keep in mind, the eviction moratorium is slated to end at the end of January, correct? I mean, I think that might have gotten pushed back, but I can't remember. My state, it isn't over until end of March, and it will probably be pushed back because anyone who thinks we're actually getting vaccinations rolled out at the rate that anyone is saying that it will get rolled out is... I got a bridge to sell you, buddy. Got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. Because no, it's not. It's not. With the rate we're doing it, with the privatized healthcare system we have, with the terrible decentralized nature of our distribution network, with our insurance model being what it is, no, we are not. Absolutely not getting people inoculated at the rate they need to be inoculated. Is an inoculation and a vaccination the same thing? That's a great question. Inoculation. An inoculation is the act of inoculating or being inoculated. Vaccination. It is the same thing. They're often used interchangeably. Inoculation is a set of methods of artificially inducing immunity against various infectious diseases. Vaccination is the administration of a vaccine to help the immune system develop a protection from a disease. These are sounding very synonymous. There's probably some distinction, but as I'm not a medical care professional nor biology major nor inclined to really care that strongly about it, I'm just gonna say they're the same thing and move on until I find a circumstance in which the distinction is made important and obvious. Which is to say never, probably, in my experience. But hey, you know, never know. Point being, it ain't happening. It ain't happening at the rate that, like, San Francisco is talking about, like, how many people they're trying to vaccinate. San Francisco, I said, I think by the end of June, just like 190 days from now, like, we're gonna have everyone with every resident, and that's an important word, of San Francisco vaccinated. San Francisco has a massive population of unhoused people. Not, you know, I'm not speaking down to them. I do live in Seattle, you know, glass houses and all that. Also, no, you're not. No, you're not. No fucking way. That's the number of people that would need to be vaccinated on a daily basis was, oh, you know, I did the math. I'm not remembering the math off the top of my head. I don't do math on stream unless I have a calculator. Let's see. Yeah, 5,500 people per day. And those are based off of the population estimates of around 880,000 people in San Francisco, which is circa 2019. Population's only gone up since then, and it's 160 days until the end of June. Wildly optimistic and unrealistic things. 5,500 people per day. You're not gonna do that. Don't fucking lie. And that's the optimistic outcome, is by midsummer, you'll be vaccinated. No, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't. Wait, we need to quit lying to people. Quit saying, we're gonna reopen soon. We're flattening the curve. Things are getting better. Somebody just needs to own the fact and be like, listen, we're fucked. We should have just taken 3 months out and been like, hey, everybody stay inside. That's how we're gonna beat this thing. But instead, capitalism was like, me need money. Oil of the machine is blood. Worker must die for GDP. Stock market line must go up. The line must be satisfied. So go die for us. You know, I'm being hyperbolic, right? But seriously, with our understanding of COVID, if literally everyone stayed home for 2 months, it would functionally be over. Not, you know, entirely be over, but it would be contained. Well, Alex, not everyone can stay home. They're essential workers. Yes, there are essential workers. What we have listed as essential is not essential. Buying clothing, not essential. I think everyone in the United States today can go a month without new clothes. Can go 2 months without new clothes. The restaurants you like, they'll have to shut down. Seriously, the government has the money and the manpower and the logistics to give out food city by city, door by door, so that people actually have enough food and water to not leave their fucking homes for 2 months. Or even a month, or even 2 weeks. Even 1 week, even 1 fucking week. Like, I would take anything at this point, and they're just not doing it. They're not doing it. Because freedom. Freedom to what? Well, freedom to die. Freedom to work until you die. Freedom to sell your labor because you don't have an alternative. Freedom to work in a coercive, sadistic, inhumane society that cares more about profits than people, bottom lines, and bottom dollars more than any fucking thing else. I hate this country. I hate this world that I was born into. It has potential. You know, I'm not shuffling off this mortal coil. I don't think this is hopeless. I don't think there's no room for growth or hope or passion or purpose. In fact, I see a great deal of potential for purpose and passion and hope if, you know, we mobilize, if we organize, if we unionize and work together in leftist, socialist, and progressive circles. And there is a lot of good work being done. It's not enough, but it's a start. Still though, you know, very hard to... It's very hard to put a silver lining on what we're going through. It really is. It's I think, unconscionable to be trying to convince people that the worst is over or that things are going to get better soon, because they're not. I think, and this is gonna be a weird situation, I think in the United States we should see the 7-day average number of cases go down, and we should see the number of 7-day average fatalities go down. And the reason for that is not because of anything that we've changed, it's just because January and February don't have big celebratory holidays like November and December and the 1st of January. Well, 31st of December, 1st of January. Because we don't have these big gatherings, traditionally, people shouldn't really be gathering, right? Like, am I forgetting something? Is there, like, probably some fucking... you know what? Major events in January. What am I doing? Well, because I'm not looking at holidays. Yeah. What's going on with the Super Bowl? That sounds terrible. Not just because people going in person. That sounds terrible. But the Super Bowl, people throw Super Bowl parties. They go over to see their friends. They hang out. That's more like I'm making the ha 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 sound, because I was like, nothing happens in February, right? And I thought, I'm like, I grew up in the Midwest. I know there's some fucking sport thing that happens in February. It won't be on the scale of New Year's Eve, even though it's one of the biggest commercial events of the year, and it's huge, and it's participated in largely, well, I mean, it's kind of across political lines, but particularly conservatives have been very vocal about NFL going back to normal, and there's some elements here that I'm like, fuck, is February gonna get better? But I think a lot of indications point to us having rounded the curve, not the curve, a curve, because simply there aren't any holidays coming up. January and February tend to be kind of dead times of the year as far as commerce goes, as far as business in person goes. Typically, Americans overspend on holiday trips, Christmas presents, holiday expenses. And this is actually, like, really sad. Most Americans go into debt over the holidays, especially those living below average income, because they're putting shit on credit cards for traveling, for seeing family, or having family over, or buying presents, or things like that, so it takes them months to pay it off. So typically around this time of year, we see people in debt, not going out, saving up so that they can get back in the black, if you will. And well, that would be conducive to not spreading a disease. People are just working and not consuming anything. That's kind of good. But unfortunately, is accompanying a once-in-a-lifetime, knock on wood, once-in-a-lifetime economic collapse. So these people in debt and the accompanying economic slowdown in the middle of a depression is resulting in more people losing their jobs, more people going into other kinds of debt, like rent debt, utility debt, etc., from which it will be very difficult to recover because there's not a lot of jobs, least of all, not a lot of jobs that actually pay a livable wage. And fuck the $15 minimum wage. That's not enough. Real minimum wage, if adjusted for inflation, should be about, what, $22, $25 right now? So even the Biden administration's admittedly good gesture is woefully inadequate in comparison to what we actually need, which is just a great summation of the Biden administration and its policies. Like, the head of the FCC, pro-net neutrality, great. Some of her other stuff, like means-adjusted rollout of internet hotspots so that children who don't have internet access can have internet access. Alright, well, that's not so great. Maybe we should just, I don't know, do national broadband and make it like we do telephone service, just something that's all but guaranteed and federally subsidized. Or, I mean, you get the gist. You get where I'm going with this. There's so many things that's like, well, you know, you're at least trying to appease people who want something done. You're not actually listening to what they want done. But it's a lot better than doing the exact opposite of what they want done, I guess. I mean, I'm not happy with it, and I won't be satisfied with it because people are dying. And people will keep dying. And like, the kind of substantial action that I think is clearly necessary is probably not going to happen from this administration. Which is deeply, deeply depressing, disheartening, disquieting, and just horrifying. Hell of a time to be alive. Hell of a time to be alive. I think, you know, there's a lot of potential for real good that can be accomplished in these first 100 days of the administration if, particularly with Bernie in the position that he is now, Chairman Sanders, come on, man. Hell yeah, comrade. Like the sound of that. With Chairman Sanders, there's a lot of very real potential for what he could accomplish in that position. But I really do think the people in office right now need to act very, very quickly in order to stave off just unforgivably bad outcomes. And, you know, it's a tough hand they've been dealt because the Trump administration willfully neglected the situation, wanting people to just fucking work and die for capitalism and get the fuck over it. And, you know, to be fair, Biden's kind of leaning in that direction with the whole, we're gonna reopen schools within 100 days. What? But, excuse you, you're gonna do what? That's a fucking terrible idea? Well, kids gotta get back to school. Yeah, online. So you just give the kids and their families access to online services and education and tools so they can do that. You know, the obvious solution, not the force children, educators, and support staff to go back to work during a pandemic that has killed more people in the United States than were killed in the entirety of the Second World War. Like, yes, we know Pearl Harbor was bad, but we just gotta send the kids into the harbor. It's just the weirdest fucking rationale. Libs want a return to normalcy. They want to feel like everything's okay. They want to go back to brunch. They want to feel like America's back, baby. And oh my god, the amount of America's back posts I've seen are just... Yeah, it's back. It never went anywhere. It's always been a racist, classist cesspool in desperate need of reform that has been willfully, bitterly ignorant of the fact that it is the problem. It has always been its own worst enemy, and tried to blame anything and everything else for its problems rather than take responsibility. That's America. So in that respect, yeah, it's back. In, you know, more broad respect, no, bitch, no. It's, what the fuck are you on? No. So yeah, Twitter's been a little insufferable, but you know, parts of Twitter I don't frequent. There's hope for the future. But it's a slow trajectory. It's very slow momentum. I don't think it's decisive action or decisive momentum to the degree that we so clearly need. So I'm not going to be too negative yet. But I will. And there's still kids in cages. Biden has tasked the ICE with reuniting families, but not necessarily in letting them go, which I think is probably a bit of, that's a sticking point for me, I'm afraid. The nominees that Biden has propped up, some are good, some are okay, most are pretty bad. If I'm being honest, they're all pretty frigged. I mean, at least thank God he didn't put Hillary in office again. Oh. I'll be honest with you, the inauguration was pretty hard to watch. The young poet, pretty good. Her poetry, pretty good. I have a hard time enjoying other people's poetry. In writing, I think, because I kind of have like a predictive algorithm sort of brain. And we all do. I'm not trying to be like, I'm special. I think in some ways, probably I am. Probably in some very unflattering ways. But I saw where she was going with the poem, and I could, like, guess how the next line would end before it did. And I never really enjoy when that happens, so when she was reading at the time, I'm like, ugh. Youth. But you know, upon reflection, pretty good shit. The entire inauguration was just lib and performative as fuck. It felt like it was a spectacle. And, of course, it's intended to be a spectacle. It's a spectacle at its core, if you buy into this. It's a spectacle about celebrating a peaceful transition of power and the continuance of democracy. Really, though, I don't buy that exactly. To me, it seems more like a day about creating this image of power of the president and the presidency. All this pomp and circumstance, this continuation of government, it's more, in my eyes, woo-hoo-hoo, hello. It's more empty than that. It's all very self-serving. I mean, you know, that's fine. It doesn't have to be, like, selfless. But in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of an economic recession, again, hitherto unseen for 100 years, spending millions of dollars on that spectacle seems incredibly in poor taste. What's more, the essential workers who were tasked with putting all those fucking flags in the ground, and every other tiny piece of pageantry. Them working is putting them at risk of infection from a very deadly disease. I don't care what kind of restrictions and distancing and safety measures you're practicing. It is a party, effectively, is what you threw. It's a party for democracy, it's a party for the nation, it's a party for the presidency, it's a party for political appearances, international prestige, a sense of legitimacy, sure. But it is a party at its core. And I found it in poor taste to be as much of a spectacle as it was. And I do understand that a part of it being such a spectacle and the importance of it continuing to be a spectacle was to spite the acts of insurrection, the attempted coup that took place mere weeks beforehand. I appreciate that. I do. But, you know, when people were hemming and hawing over the difference between giving us Americans a single $2,000 check or a single $14,000 check, and the government goes and blows hundreds of millions of dollars producing absolutely nothing in value except inflating our national ego, I'm maybe not okay with that. Big Bernie vibes, I think. Bernie vibes is probably the best way to describe it. Him just sitting there, being like, okay, I'm here. Let's get this over with. That resonates a lot with me. People freaking out about, oh, I love so-and-so's dress or gloves or what. Fuck off. Like, this isn't a fashion show. The point is not supposed to be aesthetic appeal. It's not supposed to just be pretty. It's not supposed to make you feel good. I mean, it is because it's a propaganda piece. But, like, I hate how shallow and vapid my country is, and my country folk are. My fellow Americans, if you will. Seeing so many fucking people who, if they were leaders of any other nations, would be war criminals up there. It's just dispiriting and disheartening. Listening to Biden talk about the importance of unity, healing, coming together. No. I don't want unity with fascists. I don't want to heal with people who try to interfere with the counting of votes. I don't want to move forward. I don't want a nation with those people. I don't want anything to do with them. And I don't think I ever will. What I want is for them to be held to justice. Not, put up against the wall. But censured? Re-educated? Helped? Because, like, God knows, a lot of people who buy into the Q conspiracy, like, they're very confused people about the nature of reality. I'm not saying this to be disparaging. Some of the things they say and believe are so incompatible with the accepted reality that most people live in and perceive as being true, that, like, really, genuinely, these people need help. Oh my god. So we gotta take this out of here so that my right click does... Pardon you? Why do you flatten that but not... Okay, probably the reason that it flattens grass but not dirt is because dirt will appear at all levels and they don't want you making paths at all levels. Why they don't want that, though, is beyond me. But okay. Okay. I guess I kind of get it. Do I like it? No. Do I understand it? I'm trying. But no. Oh, I'm getting tired. Tired and burnt out. How long has this been up? Hour and 20 minutes? It's not horrible. It's 1:30 in the morning. I did start this around midnight. Wiggity. Let's take stock here. What do I got? A lot of gold. Not a stack of diamonds yet. And mods really spoiled me. Playing this game, like, got very used to being able to pull in a lot more. I think, like, long-term here. Long-term kind of design goals. Obviously, this facade is temporary. I'm not happy with this. Greenhouse it's a start, but it's just a glass box. I want to do more with that. I like that island. I think something cool could be done over here, so maybe let's dig around over here while I take a look at this. I really like this village. I'd like to extend and combine some of the houses, because I always enjoy doing that in this game. I like settler management for some reason. Yeah, this is a really neat little island over here. No, of course there's a cave. Of course there's a fucking cave. There's always a goddamn cave. This area is riddled with caves and caverns. Which is interesting, but also like... fuck. But I do like that. Could make like a little harbor. We do have a... very natural little harbor here. Could expand that. Put like a lighthouse there, or port authority. Some neat potential there. What do I want to start with? I really don't know. Honestly, probably what I want to start with is going to the Nether and getting a shit ton of glowstone, which means I need silk touch before I do that. Because I would want glowstone to help light up the water so that drowners? The aqua zombie men don't spawn. I don't even know if light applies to their spawning rules, but I have to imagine it doesn't. Besides, it would look cool as hell having underwater illuminated. Yeah. I suspect that boy just spawned because it's dark over there. Yeah, let's put some torches back on, take a walk, and make sure I don't have any dark spots in the village. This village was big enough to come pre-packaged with a golem, which is cool. That seems to be increasingly common these days. The olden days, golems were a page and a half to get to spawn. You had to get so many villagers. Of course, I don't think it's doing a lot of good from in here, if I'm being honest. They, I suppose. It. Are you a construct or person? I think you're more of a construct than a person. But, that's really not for me to say, is it? Ah, yeah, here we go. Is that the only one? Yeah. Hey, bud. How you doing? Oh, no. You got me. You got me again. Oh, no. Yeah, I remember... God, like the day the patch that made it so that zombies could like break down village doors, and it was really, it was kind of cool how much of a like zombie apocalypse vibe it had back then, because zombies did not fuck around at night. They would absolutely murder villagers if they could. The villager AI was so bad. I mean, it still is, but like at the time it was very noticeable. I probably only have enough durability in this to kill like one more creeper, so maybe it's a bad idea to fuck with 2 of them. You. Sure. Alright, maybe I can fuck with more than that. Just slowly walking out the lights, pushing them further and further, increasing the safety buffer here. Okay, guess we're dealing with you. Hello. One more. Pop. And that's all, folks. I'm out of torches. Yeah, you're looking at me, but you're not here. Oh, well, I don't have coal, so back to the fucking bat cave it is. Been a long fucking week. I don't even remember what I did this time last week. No idea. Oh, I have no plans for the weekend. Do I really want to make any? No, I need to respond to a couple of messages. Actually, now that I think of it, I've been putting that off. Nothing really pressing. Yeah, I was thinking about going for like 2 hours, but like an hour and a half now. I'm tired. You know what? Let's just... This is more or less broken. To make a new one. Oh no, Alex, it isn't broken yet. You're being inefficient, buddy. That's okay. That's okay. There'll be more iron. There will be more iron. Huh. Yeah, I don't think I really want to do any building. I'm kind of burnt out on mining. Lighting stuff up has been kind of enjoyable, but I'm out of coals. I'm gonna have to grab more of this. And now I'm gonna feel bad about going upstairs and blowing more coal if I'm not mining up more coal, so I don't want to do that yet. I could get some charcoal, but really what's the point of getting charcoal when you have this much coal? Except that's a renewable resource, and yada 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 yada. Nah. Yeah, I think I'm good. Oh, it's very, very exciting, I know. It's not a Let's Talk. This has been a lot more rambly than that, but yeah, I'm good with it. I think, I would like to stream more, to record more. Don't get me wrong. Normally, January and February are kind of a drought of content. As far as video games go, as far as like a lot of media goes, because it's after the holiday season, and because there's not that purchasing crunch anymore, it's kind of a lull for the kind of economic reasons I got into whenever the fuck ago I was talking about that today. Yeah. And a lot of friends of mine are kind of burnt out on playing stuff for playing anyway. So I guess I'm open to ideas. But I'm also feeling very ambivalent. Listen, really, what I want right now is to stay alive. Get the money I paid into my tax system back in the funds that I and other people need even worse than I do. To have less anxiety? Like, it'd be really cool to, like, start dating a couple of people, but I'm not even sure I'm comfortable really doing that consistently in this climate, so, like, it'd be nice, but, like, it might just be a new source of stress. There are no games I'm really all that excited about, if I'm being honest. Eco, for example, seems cool, but also seems like you have to get a group together to do, or join an existing server, and, like, I just don't have fucking patience for multiplayer experiences. I've been hurt too many times before. So that's... So I'll think about it. And play with it. I'm open to ideas. But right now, I think, well, I should go to bed. Will I? No, probably not. I'm probably going to bed, to lay in bed, to fixate on something for like an hour or two. Either doom scrolling or getting back to messages I should have responded to a while ago. Or just watching some random shit on Netflix or Twitch or YouTube or wherever. More Dishonored 2 is in the future. It's in the cards. Probably not more than like once a week. More Alone in the Dark, probably about once a week. More Minecraft? Buddy, I'll be playing it. Will I be recording and streaming it? A little unlikely. More Islanders? Probably not. Probably not. This is a jam, though. It is. Until later, regardless, I hope that you're well. Toodaloo. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.